is going on? Monday, February 3rd, 2025. The winning is not stopping. The winning is not stopping here in America as we, the people, are back, baby. Finally, we are starting to get exactly what we asked for from our government. I know this is a radical thing for many people to understand. Many people in the neocon establishment, it's very difficult for us to understand, for them to figure out that America is, we're not playing games anymore. We're not playing games as Donald Trump starts a trade war with Mexico and Canada and has the Mexican president bending the knee almost instantly. Almost instantly. By the time she woke up, she understood that all of her avocados were going to go bad on the dock, and she bent the knee. She bent the knee. That's just kind of what they do. It's kind of what they do. Absolutely unbelievable. This as border crossings are down 93% in 2 weeks. 2 weeks we are in. Do you understand the magnitude of that? It is a sign to the world that America is closed. America is closed, and we are not taking in the totality of the world's poor anymore. We are done. If your country sucks, go somewhere else. I ain't saying you got to go home, but you got to get up out of here, as the great Stuart Scott used to say. Also, USAID, which looks like, sounds like U.S. aid. It's not. It's a way to nation build all over the world. Has now been absorbed by the Secretary of State Department, virtually, basically absorbed by it. Now under the guise of Marco Rubio, which I got to be honest, I'm not totally thrilled with. But of all Trump's cabinet picks, he's definitely my least favorite one. I understand that. I understand. But that has all been shuttered. We are done. Done. Building nations around the world while our own nation crumbles. The news moves so damn quickly that sometimes it's even hard to keep up. But that's why we're going to bring you guys all the good stuff today. Make sure you are hitting that thumbs up button. Share the video out all over the place. What's up, Conservative Autumn? You know you get a shot. By the way, what do you guys think? What do you guys think? For a while, we had the "We the People Are Pissed Off" t-shirt, which we still have. But I thought after the last couple of ass kickings we've given the world, we the people are back. We are back. We are back. We are getting our country back. Very good stuff. I feel good today. I'm jacked up today. I'm jacked. You guys can get this shirt at loudmajorityusa.com. I think we have it in every color. Pretty sure. Also, when you get it over by us, you'll know it comes directly from us because it says this on the back. Can you see it? Boom, there we go. The Stay Loud. My sound went out. Hold on. The sound back. Hold on, let me see. There we go. I don't know what the hell happened there. I think I broke the damn thing. I got so excited that I broke the audio. But I think the audio's back now. There we go. Giddy up, let's go. Guys, let's get rocking and rolling here now that I, All right, good. The chat, some people are saying no sound, some people are saying sound. We're good. Guys, hit that thumbs up button. Share the video out all over the place. Let's get rocking. Let's get rolling today because, last night, Donald Trump announced 25% tariffs on Canadian and Mexican goods. Everyone said, all the economists, oh, Lord, the economists, they all said that the sky is falling. The sky is falling, and if I'm being honest with them, the Dow did open 500 points down, yet it has virtually rebounded. It has basically come all the way back. How about we have a new rule? New rule, everybody. Whenever anyone says, economists say, we ignore the second half of the sentence. Because economists don't know anything. They have spent the totality of their lives being consistently wrong. Like Paul Krugman over at the New York Times. You know, the guy who told everybody not to worry that there was no housing bubble. No big deal. Paul Krugman, New York Times. Wrong about everything. Wrong about everything as always. But breaking in the last couple of hours, Donald Trump has paused his tariffs on Mexico for 1 month after the Mexican president said that she will reinforce the border with 10,000 more Mexican troops. This is huge. There were already 15,000 National Guardsmen on the border from the country of Mexico. Now we will virtually double that. President Donald Trump, this from the Post Millennial, has paused the tariffs on Mexico after speaking on Monday with the Mexican president. This comes after Trump signed off on an executive order over the weekend implementing the tariff. Trump posted on Truth Social, I just spoke with President Sheinbaum of Mexico. It was a friendly conversation where she agreed to immediately supply 10,000 Mexican soldiers to the border, separating Mexico and the United States. These soldiers will specifically be designated to stop the flow of fentanyl and illegal immigrants into our country. Wow. So it turns out Joe Biden could have done this the whole time, and for some reason chose not to. He added, we further agree to immediately pause the anticipated tariffs for a 1 month period during which we will have negotiations headed by Secretary of State Marco Rubio and the Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent and the Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick and high-level representatives of Mexico. I look forward to participating in these negotiations with President Sheinbaum as we attempt to achieve a deal between our two countries. Sheinbaum also posted on X saying that Donald Trump has agreed to pause the tariffs for 1 month on Mexico as it takes steps to reinforce its border with the United States. So yesterday, some of you may have seen old Chucky Boy Schumer, the guy who doesn't know how to grill a hamburger, came out and said, guys, these tariffs, they're really going to impact your Super Bowl Sunday. And then he held up a can of Corona. First off, Chuck, who the hell drinks Corona out of a can? Let's move past that. And then an avocado and said, oh, now your beer and your guacamole is going to be more expensive. Well, it turns out that A, Corona is disgusting. B, avocados are disgusting. Yeah, I said it. Avocados are gross, okay? They're disgusting. And if you disagree with me, you're wrong. Turns out none of that's going to happen. Because as we have been saying for months and months and months and months at this point, tariffs are a tool to get what you want from smaller countries. This seems to be befuddling to many ex-influencers, many people on MSDNC. They're very confused by this notion. I don't know why. Like, imagine this. Imagine you're, I don't know, a contributor on MSNBC, and you ask somebody a question, and they give you an answer, and you go, yeah, that's not true. I had to deal with that last night with an idiot, with a genuine idiot. Why are you doing this? Then I give them the answer. They don't like the answer. They ask again. It's very incredible. It's an incredible thing. Tariffs are a tool. They are an economic tool to bend the will of the leaders of other countries. Just in the last 2 weeks. You guys want to play a little game here? Let's play a little game. Just in the last 2 weeks. Let's see. Let's go over a list of what happened. Mexico caved. Panama caved. Colombia caved. Venezuela caved. Canada is panicking. We've had mass deportations. We've gotten hostages home from both Venezuela and Gaza. DEI programs have been ended. The bureaucracy has been slashed. FBI purges are underway. The USAID funding has been canceled. Gender ideology has been eliminated. Doge has already saved billions. 51 intel officers lost their clearance. The border crossings have dropped by 93%. Reservoirs have been filled up in California, and there's no more room on this meme for me to add all the other stuff. Guys, this is what winning looks like. For the first time in my lifetime, we are actually starting to get what we were promised by our government. And many people see this as incredibly odd. Many people will see this as, it's very odd. I can't believe Donald Trump is out there doing what he told people he was going to do. However will we survive? However will we live? Also, a couple of things. Let's just say, for example, Chuck Schumer was right. And that Corona and avocados were going to cost more money on Super Bowl Sunday. Just buy a different beer. They're all right next to each other in the store. It's not that challenging to buy another shitty beer. Or you could buy Yuengling, which is made in Pennsylvania and is delicious. You're right, there might not be avocados. So, just have salsa. Just have some salsa. This is not challenging stuff, everyone. When Donald Trump came out last night and said, you're right, there's going to be a little bit of pain involved in this for long-term benefits. That's what he was talking about. And I have no problem sacrificing in the short term in order to gain in the long term. You guys got to remember something, and we're going to talk about this because Democrats, thank you, Eli. Thank you, Eli. Because people like to say salsa. What the hell was I? Eli just screwed me up now with a Seinfeld. Eli dropped a Seinfeld reference, and now I don't know where the hell I am. It turns out that short-term pain may be necessary because after what the Democrats did this weekend, I am predicting 20 years of Republican rule. I am predicting 25 years of Republican rule. Why? We're going to get to that at the end of the show because Democrats don't learn. They're idiots. They're absolutely... I cannot believe they made David Hogg the vice chair of the DNC. Mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. But we got more stuff on the border, and we've got more of that good stuff. As Kristi Noem, who, I want to say something, and some people, look, some people aren't going to like it. And it's okay, about Kristi Noem. Many people have suggested that she went down to the border and rode a horse with her little cowboy hat on for a photo op. Well, I want to be clear, if she did that, if she went down to the border and rode a horse with a cowboy hat on for a photo op, it worked. It worked because it turns out, and I'm gonna really shock some people with this one. I've studied human psychology my entire life, and it turns out people like to look at good-looking people. And it turns out when you put competence and attractiveness together, people tend to pay attention. So when you have an incredibly hot woman from South Dakota riding a damn horse while securing our border, people share that picture out. Nobody wants to see the freshly shaven testicle that is Alejandro Mayorkas down at the border. It turns out it boosts morale. I know I'm really diving into the deep sort of Friedrich Nietzsche levels of human psychology here, but it turns out I've just lived on this planet for almost 36 years. So it turns out it's working. But when you combine hot people with good policy, you get even better PR results, as Kristi Noem has revoked the temporary protective status for over 300,000 Venezuelans in the United States. Now, some people losing their mind over this. I want to be clear. I have no doubt that it sucks living in Venezuela. I'm sure it does. It's hot as hell. It's run by a communist. They have no food. They're eating animals in the zoo to stay alive. All of that is real. I have no doubt that it sucks living in Venezuela. But just because it sucks there doesn't mean you get to live here. If you live in a place in America that sucks, and a lot of places suck, that doesn't mean you get to just walk into somebody's house in Orange County, California, and just take over their mansion. You don't get to do that. Venezuelans who are in the United States at this program will lose their status within 60 days of the termination notice. Now, many people will say, but Kevin, these people who are on their pathway to citizenship while under the temporary resident visa, will they be deported? Actually, no. Actually, they won't. Because here's the little secret about becoming an American citizen. If you're in the process of doing so, you're basically given safe haven because you are going through the proper channels. Because it does take a while, like becoming a doctor. That also takes a while. But we shouldn't lower the threshold for what it takes to be a doctor, just like we shouldn't lower the threshold for what it takes to be an American citizen. Also, many of the people under this temporary status left Venezuela because they're gang members. You get to go home. Adios, muchacho. If you don't understand that, I'll say it in Italian. Arrivederci. You have to go. I don't care if you live under a dictator. A lot of places live under dictatorships. Let's add that to the list of things that aren't my problem. Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem has revoked the temporary protected status known as TPS for over 300,000 Venezuelans living in the United States. This means that those Venezuelans who were given protection by the United States from returning to their home country in turmoil could face deportation if they choose not to return on their own. This includes members of Tren de Aragua, which I gotta say, once we deport all of the Tren de Aragua people, I'm gonna miss saying it. It's a fun name. You know, you can add a little flair to it. You can roll your R. Tren de Aragua. You can have some fun with it. It's a lot more fun to say than MS-13, but you gotta go. And people are flummoxed. They are shocked. Can you believe what this administration is doing? And I look at them and go, yeah, they kind of told you they were going to do that. They kind of told you they were going to do that. Venezuela, Venezuelans who are on the program will lose their status in 60 days of the termination notice. As Trump has been issuing deportations of Venezuelans who are illegally in the country, he has been in contact with the gigantic president of Venezuela, Nicolas Maduro. You got to make sure you roll those R's. About accepting those illegal immigrants home. Per the New York Times, over 1 million people are in the country with this status. While 300,000 Venezuelans will lose their status, another 250,000 have their status until September. Venezuela had originally said they would not take home migrants, but Trump indicated that the government had reverse course over the weekend. I tell you, let me tell you a little something about this show, okay? And normally I would not speak for the other LFA TV hosts, but I think in this instance I can. Particularly on Mondays, we spend a lot of time finding clips and coming up with good stories and things we want to talk about, and we build a show in that sort of way. It's not easy to do. And then Monday comes along, and all this news breaks, and all that work we did Saturday and Sunday, you could just throw that right out. That's old news. You remember when a plane crashed in Philadelphia like 50 hours ago? We're not even going to talk about that today. Which is I just want to be clear, one of the saddest stories I think I've ever heard in my entire life. One of the saddest damn stories I've ever heard. That incident. But that plane crash in Pennsylvania, which unfortunately didn't land on top of the Philadelphia Phillies, that feels like it was months ago. That happened 2 days ago. 2 days. 4 days ago was the equally as horrific helicopter crash into the commercial airliner in D.C. That feels like it was last year. It's almost impossible to keep up with the news, but we do our best here. We try and we do our best. Guys, hit that thumbs up button. Share the video out all over the place. We are rocking. We are rolling here. Everything is good. Let's see, what do we got? How many we got in here? We got big show today, big show. I'm liking, what are we at? 225 Rumble so far. 225 Rumble so far. 1,000 people watching live. I'm liking it. Also, big news on a personal front. Big news on a personal front. The Loud Majority Facebook page, for those of you who are still on Facebook, is rounding off at 50,000 followers. I want to be clear. Why does this matter? Many people in the chat, I'm waiting for you to hell with Facebook. I'm out. Zuckerbucks. I don't believe in that. I think you should utilize every platform until you are no longer allowed to utilize it. Well, on Facebook, we have seen a precipitous growth in the page in just the last week or so. We were stuck at about 48,000 followers on Facebook for quite some time. I would say like a year. There was no growth whatsoever. And that has, popped up in the last, I'd say, week. Also, for any of my Instagram influencers out there, I'm sure many people have seen that Instagram has begun to build up over the course of the last, I'd say, week or 2 weeks or so. Now, I'm not saying that I trust Mark Zuckerberg, because I don't. Actions speak louder than words. He can go on Joe Rogan and pontificate all he wants. I still don't trust him. However, we're starting to see a difference. So for everybody out there who's still on Facebook, look, it is time for the right to take back the social media realm. It's time for that to happen. And we can't do it without your help. So guys, if you're one of those people still on Facebook, I know some of you are in the LFA Family Facebook group. Make sure you follow Loud Majority US on Facebook. Help me get to 50,000. Also, this page, hello. I don't know if you guys can see the follower count, rumble.com/LFATV, but we are rounding off at 100,000. And I'm liking that. I'm liking it a lot. So, guys, make sure you hit the thumbs up button. Share the video out all over the place. Share it out all over the place. Help get us to 100,000. Suzanne 15, come join us in the LFA Facebook group. Yes, do that. Do that, please. Caps. Wait a minute. Cap Locks. Who the hell are you? Facebook, we were at 50,000 the first time when they took down Loud Majority 1.0. We are back. Yes. Wait, who is that? Only, you got to be a real OG of the Loud Majority to remember Loud Majority 1.0. Oh, it's Dawn. Okay. All right. There we go. That makes sense now. Yeah, well, so we had, actually, our Facebook grew to 50,000 in about 2 weeks when Sean and I started the Loud Majority 4 years ago. And then they zapped us like that. but we are slowly making our way back. So, TPH, Caps is one of me, all right? Get the hell out of here. Get the hell out of here. Guys, before we keep rocking and rolling, Mike Lindell.
I'm excited to announce that we're having our first ever mega sale on overstock clearance and brand new products. For example, save over 50% on this season's flannel sheets. Queen size only $59.98. Kings only $69.98. They sell out fast every year, so order now. Save 20% on our brand new My Crosses. They're designed in the likeness of the one I've worn every day for over 20 years. They come in men's and women's, and they're made right here in the USA. Get our 2025 six-piece My Towel sets for only $29.98. Our initial quantities are extremely low, so get them now before they go. And our best-selling standard My Pillows, just $14.98. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to take advantage of our first ever mega sale. But wait, remember that $75 free shipping rule? Well, that ship is sailed because right now, every order ships absolutely free.
Who else is excited about having a new MyPillow commercial? Very good stuff, guys. Head on over to MyPillow.com. Promo code LOUD. That's MyPillow.com. Promo code LOUD for up to 80% off everything on the website. That's MyPillow.com. Promo code LOUD. Pick up Mike Lindell's beautiful necklace. I like that very much, very much. Yeah, Dawn was with the Loud Majority before it had the name. That was a... How many OGs were around? How many people in the Rumble chat or in the Facebook chat, let me know, have been around since the beginning? We lost a lot of people a couple years ago because jackasses who own newspapers decided to lie about us in public. But it was a good time. It was definitely a good time. How many people were around as we hit the 250 mark? Yeah, Natalie Caps was there. Very good stuff. Drama BS. That's it. But we're bigger, better, and rocking before. Better than ever. Regina's been around since the start. Very good. I like this. 4 years in and we're still here. 4 years and we're still here. Wow. I wonder what all those other groups are doing. Let's move it along, guys. Because Tom Homan has announced that border crossings in the last 2 weeks have been down nearly 93%. For all intents and purposes, between the Mexican president sending more troops down to the border and the amount of work we're doing down there, for all intents and purposes, the border is closed. The border is basically closed. Here's Tom Homan.
Can you assess your work so far?
Well, look, I looked at the numbers this morning, Maria. The crossings on the border are down 93%. 93%.
Wow.
That's a bigger decrease than under the first Trump administration. So, look, I said it. President Trump is a game changer. No one has had the success he's had on securing the border. He clearly understands we can't have strong national security if we don't have border security. We need to know who's coming in, what's coming in, where it's coming in, why it's coming in. And we have achieved a success on the border already. We got more work to do. And on top of that, as far as the deportation operation, we're just shy of, I think we got 5,000 already arrested the first week, and majority of them being criminals. The non-criminals, and the media's talking about, who are these non-criminals? The non-criminals are arrested in sanctuary cities because you force us into the community rather than arresting the bad guy in the jail. And when we find that criminal, he's most likely with others, and they're going to go too. So if you want to be a sanctuary city, you're going to get exactly what you don't want. More agents in the community and more non-criminals arrested.
It turns out all that was required was just a little bit of pressure. A little bit of pressure and saying you are no longer coming into this country. It's not that challenging. Democrats could have done this the entire time, but they chose not to. They chose to allow us to be invaded. And now the real work begins. I told you guys this right after the election. I told you guys this right after the election, that now that we've won, the real work begins. Winning is not hard. Maintaining your win is difficult. That's why in sports, it's not difficult to win the Super Bowl. It's difficult to win it the next year when everybody's gunning for you, which is what the world is doing right now. The world is gunning for us. They do not like the fact that we are upsetting the natural order of things. The natural order for the last 50 years in this country have been that America pays and gets virtually nothing in return. But those days are over. Those days are over, baby. It is time. The age of American greatness is coming back. And all I got to say is thank God. Thank God. We have played second fiddle to the world for far too long. For far too long. And I think me, myself, a lot of you, we're over it. We're absolutely over it. Once again, guys, hit that thumbs up button. Share the video out all over the place. 1,000 people watching. Let's keep that 300 Rumble. Who's saying that? Beth Poole. Love me some Loud Majority, part of the OG. I'm liking it. You know you're a real OG if you have a Loud Majority shirt with nothing on the back. That was before we even existed. That was before we had a website, before we did anything. I like it. That's you, Beth. Very good. Very good. Guys, once again, hit the thumbs up button. Share the video out all over the place because some people are not liking it. Some people are not liking the fact that America is back. So much so that yesterday there were massive protests breaking out all over the country. There was some in Austin, Texas. Keep Austin weird. And some broke out in Los Angeles as they began blocking streets and whatnot all over the place. Here that was. There is really nothing that bothers me more than when I see people flying the flag of another country in that sort of way in America. You want to have your pride, you want your Italian flag, your Irish flag, you want any of that, I got no problem with that. I got no problem with that at all. Everybody's Irish on St. Patrick's Day, right? My problem is that when you think that you have a right to it, you see, these people aren't out there protesting immigration. It goes way deeper than that. They think that in Los Angeles, they are on stolen land. Land that we stole from Santa Anna in the Mexican-American War when they lost territory, you see? Because up until, and I mean this, up until like 1980, when you lost a war, you lost land. It's only very recently that we've come to this sort of idea where if you fight a war and you lose, the winning side has to, like, rebuild your country or provide food aid to your terrorists. I'm talking to you, Hamas. It's only recently that we've had this new sort of notion. And I think we should go back to the days where when you fight a war and you lose your country. It's like a big game of Risk. Now, I know many people will say, Kevin, isn't that what NATO's for? Isn't that what NATO's for, to stop that from happening? Yeah, tell that to everyone in Yugoslavia. Oh, that's right, the country doesn't exist anymore. As Tucker Carlson very aptly pointed out in his interview with Piers Morgan, that it turns out NATO, for all the positive people pretend it does, it's actually never really achieved anything except just draining money away from places like America and into places like North Macedonia. I'll give you $1 if you can point that out to me on a map. But the But NATO is not the only place. NATO is not the only place where Americans' money go to die. We're going to get to that in 1 second. Before we do that, guys, head on over to lfatv.us. That's lfatv.us. That's your home base, your mothership, your landing pad for all things LFA-TV related. Check out the LFA-TV store. Jeremy's got some great, great stuff over there. While you are there, please consider becoming a monthly donor over at LFA-TV. Over at LFATV.us. If you guys want to support the network, that would be the best place to do it. LFATV.us. So, something else that has happened, which I love every single minute of it, I dance when I think about it, is the ending of an organization that many people hadn't heard of until this week. It's called the USAID. The USAID, Kevin. What the hell does the USAID do? Well, the USAID is basically America's way to nation build all over the world. And that has all been but shuttered down as it merges into the State Department with Marco Rubio at the head of the agency. Now, I'll say it once and I'll say it again. Of all the people to run it, I would say Marco Rubio would be the person I dislike doing that the most. But they are very, very upset over there on the left side of the aisle. Let's get to the report. This from the Post Millennial. The United States Agency for International Development. Yeah, we can get rid of that immediately. Let's add that to the list of shit we don't need. Is reportedly being merged with the State Department. And Secretary of State Marco Rubio will serve as the acting USAID acting administrator. According to CBS News senior White House correspondent Jennifer Jacobs, sources said that the USAID will be moved under the purview of the State Department, which will bring cuts to the workforce. It will remain a humanitarian aid entity, which, look, I've long said this. I am very sick and tired of every time something goes bad in the world, the totality of the world looks to us to fix it. But we are a giving nation. So if you get hit with like an earthquake like Haiti, or a hurricane like Haiti, or a tsunami in Japan, or something that is not of your making, sometimes shit just happens. I think it would be nice if the population of the world came and in the beginning, stopped your citizens from starving to death. I have no issue with that, if that's all it was. But that's not what this agency does. This is about nation building. This is the way places like the CIA funnel money into countries for things like regime change, for things like toppling dictators. And this cannot be allowed anymore. This cannot be allowed anymore. According to ABC News, a source said that Rubio has been made the new acting administrator. We said that. In late January, around 60 top officials at the agency, nearly every career staffer who held a top leadership role, were ordered to go on leave. The acting USAID administrator, Jason Gray, wrote in an email, "We have identified several actions within USAID that appear to be designed to circumvent the president's executive order and mandate for the American people. As a result, we have placed a number of USAID employees on administrative leave with full pay and benefits until further notice, until we can complete our analysis of these actions." So what they're doing is they're telling all of these people, stay home while we figure out what the hell it is you did, and then we can fire you. Because this administrative state, and we've seen several iterations of this, of people who don't like the fact that President Trump won and will do everything in their power to stop him from continuing winning. And I've long said, And I've gotten into arguments with Mike Crispy, and I've gotten into arguments with Sean, and, well, not so much Sean, more Crispy and Frankie, about how there are two deep states, okay? There are two entities known as the deep state. There are the nefarious actors at the top, people like Brennan and Clapper and the heads of the CIA. But there's another kind of deep state. And that deep state is the career bureaucrats who don't like that things are changing. Look, I want to be clear about something. If you worked in a job and every 4 years someone new came in and just changed things up, that would probably get very annoying for you. I can understand that. You like the way things are going. You believe in this sort of thing. I can understand how that would be annoying. But there are many people within that deep state, the career bureaucrats, who simply say we're going to do whatever the hell it is we want to do. And here's one of them. Here is one of them. Here is somebody who works at one of these agencies saying they are just going to completely and utterly ignore everything Kristi Noem has to say. This from O'Keefe Media Group.
Kristi Noem hates her. So the secretaries can set the priorities for the department, but they can't actually tell us what to do. We don't agree with those priorities. There's a lot of room for interpretation in terms of how we interpret what those priorities are.
Meet Brandon Wright, a platform services manager for the Department of Homeland Security. Brandon Wright states to our undercover journalist how he will defy Kristi Noem's orders. Wright also said he won't let Kristi Noem get in his way.
The truth is, we don't let them get in our way.
Okay, good.
You're hearing like the real talk from like, we don't let them get in our way. And frankly, that's actually, I would argue, I'm not even being an asshole, I would argue that's my job. You know how a septic tank works? So it like catches all the shit and like filters it through rocks and then sand and everything. There's a lot of layers like that in government.
Okay.
And by the time the actual marching orders get to like me and below, we can filter in a way that steadies the ship.
The official at DHS discloses how GS-14s and GS-15s at the DHS will defy Noem's orders and how they will disregard her agenda.
I feel really, really bad for all the 15s because they have to deal with crazy shit. And it's not easy. Because like I said, when it's like the crazy person comes in and tries to steer, they have to like work really hard to like steer. A lot of ass kissing. I'd be like, oh, what a great idea, Secretary Noem. Well, but what if we did this? I think your idea would be even better if we did it like this.
The DHS official tells our OMG undercover journalist that DHS could fall on Kristi Noem's head and she wouldn't recognize what it is.
She doesn't know her answer. The Department of Homeland Security could fall on her head and she wouldn't recognize what it is. Kristi Noem doesn't know shit.
It's out of control. That is the biggest problem I see with whatever you want to call a deep state. Career bureaucrats like that who think that they dictate foreign policy to the American people. That's the most dangerous thing in our government. Not these idiots out there in the streets. That stuff is bad. But not nearly as bad as that guy that O'Keefe got on camera. I can't wait to see what happens when he finally approaches him. I cannot wait to see about that. But like I said, USAID is now being all but absolved. Elon Musk is taking his Doge team through USAID to see exactly what they've been doing. And turns out there's a big protest going on right now in front of USAID headquarters, and some people are not taking it well, and it's exactly the people you think.
It is really, really a sad day in America. We are witnessing a constitutional crisis. We talked about Trump wanting to be a dictator on day one, and here we are. This is what the beginning of dictatorship looks like. When you gut the Constitution and you install yourself as the sole power, that is how dictators are made. What Trump and Elon and all of their cronies are trying to do is take away the constitutional power of Congress. We get to decide. We have the power of the purse. We get to decide where money is allocated, and it's the executive's power to make sure that that money gets to where it needs to get. When we talk about civil servants being let go, what we are talking about...
No one has been let go, Ilhan. No one has been let go. As a matter of fact, they're being paid to stay home.
It's not saving money. It's essentially saying they can get paid while they're home and their work doesn't get done on behalf of the American people.
We don't want their work to be done because their work involves sending all of our money to places like where you came from. By the way, how is Somalia doing after we decided to have a bunch of Army Rangers die in Black Hawk Down? How is Somalia doing after all these years? Because I hate to break this to everybody. It turns out many of the nations that we've been giving money to over the course of the last several decades have never gotten any better. You know why? Because they can't live without us. They've never learned to grow. It's like a child living in your basement until they're 45. They never learned how the world works. While the American people suffer. So yes, I want all the people at USAID to stay home because quite frankly, we don't need you. We don't need you. We don't want you. Your time in government is past. Your time in government is past. Susanna 15, thank you so much. ZBM, thank you for the beers. I will I'll obviously partake in those. Guys, hit that thumbs up button. Share the video out all over the place because we gotta have some fun. We're gonna have some fun at the end of the show, and we're gonna make fun of Beyonce. Dance party with Beyonce. We're going to make fun of Beyonce at the end of it. But we've got one more thing. We've got one more person we've got to make fun of before that. Before we get to that, guys, head on over to loudmajorityusa.com. Sign up for the newsletter. Check out our shop. For some reason, I still can't show the green stuff, but I haven't gotten that fixed yet. But you guys can scroll through here. All the good stuff. Look at this. We've got a giant sale happening over at the Loud Majority. So much stuff is half price. Check that out today. We've got whiskey glasses. We've got rocks glasses. Oh, look at this. We got these things. Everybody loves these Valentine's Day cards. Let me show you these Valentine's Day cards. I found out the other day that all of these Valentine's Day cards were handwritten by a phenomenal person who I know is watching right now. All of these Valentine's Day cards were handwritten. So pick up your Valentine's Day Trump cards and send them to somebody you love by going to loudmajorityusa.com. That's loudmajorityusa.com. Can I do this? Oh, here we go. Here's one of the new shirts. Boom. Don't you think you would look good on St. Patrick's Day wearing that? Kiss me, I voted for Trump. Fellas, the ladies will love you. The ladies will love you if you grab this. Guys, go to loudmajorityusa.com. That's loudmajorityusa.com. Also, you can pick up the We the People Are Back t-shirt. I'm liking it. That's the best way to support this program, the best way to support this show, and everything we've got going on, guys. Go to loudmajorityusa.com. That's loudmajorityusa.com. Thank you very, very much. So, who thinks we should have a little bit of fun? We're going to make fun of some countries in Latin America because things didn't go so well for them. Things didn't go so well. Countries in Latin America, this from the Federation for American Immigration Reform. Countries in Latin America have called for an emergency summit after President Trump decisively won his first showdown with a country refusing to accept repatriation of citizens deported from the United States. Colombia not only gave in with a lively exchange last weekend, but President Petro even sent his own plane to pick up deportees. This triggered calls for an emergency summit among Latin American leaders on how to counter the Trump administration, only for the summit to be promptly called off. That's odd. How the hell did that happen? Well, it turns out the idea for this summit to counter the Trump administration's hawkish line on immigration was suggested by President Castro of Honduras. The summit was then canceled when only 2 countries out of the 33 member states of the Community of Latin American and Caribbean States expressed any interest in attending. So the president of Honduras goes, no, guys, we got to get together. We got to get together and stop Donald Trump. And 31 of the 33 countries were like, yeah, we're good, bro. We're good. So, looks like Honduras is getting all their people back. We're just going to start filling up Latin American countries, one after the other. The president had warned that the incoming Trump administration was willing to withhold security cooperation with the United States if he went ahead with the mass deportation. Oh, no. Oh, no. Guys, what are we going to do? Honduras is no longer going to join in security cooperations with the United States. How the hell will we ever live? Oh, no. What's going to happen? Do you guys think you'll make it through the day? All right, bro. Go ahead. Considering Honduras' biggest export is shortstops, I think we'll be okay. I think somehow I'll make it through the day, you'll make it through the day, we'll all make it through the day. Someone who's not going to make it through the day, though, is, somebody who will make it through the day now that she won Best Album. Let's make fun of Beyonce for a second. Because making fun of Beyonce is a tried and true tradition here in America. And it's pretty funny. So I watched the Grammys last night. I watched it so you didn't have to. Beyonce finally won Album of the Year. Now, I gotta be honest with you guys. I'm 35, so I don't really know what an album is. I don't know if they've sold those in a while. I don't know why we have an Album of the Year category, but I also think it's incredibly funny that Beyonce had to pretend to be a country western singer in order to win Album of the Year. That's just not going to stop being funny. A couple other funny things that happened at the Grammys yesterday. Kanye West's wife showed up naked, which, while in poor taste, I mean, it wasn't awful. I'm not going to show it. Fellas, feel free to go look on your own. More funny stuff that happened at the Grammys. Kanye West told Don Lemon he can go f*** himself when he tried to interview him on the red carpet. Don Lemon also got blown off on the red carpet by somebody that I've never heard of. But there was one person. There was one person who decided to buck the system, to ruffle the feathers. I don't know. I got to be honest with you. I don't know who this person is. I don't know who she is, but that's not a dig at her. That's because I haven't listened to new music in like 15 years. Someone named Joy Villa. Joy Villa showed up to the Grammys in an interesting bit of attire. And when she was asked about it, had an interesting take on why she was wearing it. Let's check this out real quick. I don't know who this person is or what they do, but I'm going to buy all of their products.
The ones that should be deported are being deported. To be honest, I'm a Latina. My family came from this country to this country legally, and I love to see rapists, human traffickers deported. I don't want to see them here. I want us to be free for all colors, for all people. Like, that's what makes America great again. So we can create, so we can live. Like, as an artist, as a musician, I want to be able to walk at night and not think that I'm going to get killed by an illegal alien. And so those are the people getting deported, and those are the people that should get deported.
I don't know who she is, but I'm going to find out. I'm going to buy some of her music. Does she make, let me look this up. Who the hell is this? Joy Vila. She is a singer-songwriter. Oh, apparently she's like really based. Stop. Is this what this chick was wearing at the Grammys yesterday? Check this out, guys. Let me pop this up. Apparently she was wearing a full Make America Great Again outfit. Was that at the Grammys yesterday? Like I said, I don't know who this chick is, but I think I like her. She was... Oh, this is in 2019. I don't know who these people are, but I'm going to find out. The Joy Vilas. Everybody go buy her music. I don't know what she does. I don't know if she has any talent whatsoever, but, support her. What the hell? What the hell? Guys, I'm going to bounce out of here. It's 2 p.m. I want to thank everybody so much for tuning in, as always. Catch me back tomorrow. We're going to have a little bit of fun. I've actually got an ex-Democrat coming on the show tomorrow who voted for Trump in this election for the first time. She can be coming on the show tomorrow, and we're going to have ourselves a little bit of fun. I'm liking it a lot, guys. LoudMajorityUSA.com. Head on over there. Check out the shop. Will Johnson coming up next. Until tomorrow, everybody, stay loud.